Good evening, everyone. This is Mark back here with Team Shooter, here to give you another free pick. This time it is going to be in Sunday Night Football, as we'll be looking at the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Dallas Cowboys down there in Dallas. But before we get into that, let's quickly recap what happened yesterday. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to recap. We dropped Duke on the money line. We also dropped them on the spread. We pretty much hang that game up by the third quarter, but either way, let's move on to the play of the day. And actually, before we get into the play of the day, I want to use this quick analogy that will lead us into the play of the day. So last Thursday, we had Georgia Southern taking on Appalachian State, and we took Georgia Southern, and they obviously won for us. I think we got them at plus 380 on the money line, and honestly forget what the spread was, but none other way, they won the game. And then here we are, fast forward to Saturday, and we took the opposite of both those teams. So we took Appalachian State today, and we won that bet. We also took Troy over Georgia State. And now why am I bringing up this? Because we felt like this was a huge recency bias of what people saw last week. And this is kind of going to lean into why we like our play today. And we'll be looking at the Minnesota Vikings. As you remember last week, they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs late in that game by a field goal. So kind of the same scenario. We'll be taking the Vikings tomorrow night, but we'll also be fading the Kansas City Chiefs kind of for the same reasons. Kansas City Chiefs, you have Pat Mahomes coming back, and I think the public is deciding, oh, they could beat the Vikings without Mahomes, and obviously they can handle, the Titans with Mahomes. And then you have the Vikings, who couldn't win a game against a quarterback-less Kansas City Chiefs, and now they're taking on the Dallas Cowboys. So we definitely feel like there's a similarity between the two in the analogy that I just gave. But nonetheless, that is what we're going to be looking at as we look at the Minnesota Vikings in Sunday Night Football. We were going to be taking the Vikings at plus 3 at minus 110. We're also going to be taking them on the money line at plus 155. Now, that isn't just the only reason why we like this game. We always do typically fade the public on Sunday Night Football in these big primetime games. And if you remember anything about Dallas Cowboys last week, if you're looking just clearly at the box score, you would think that Dallas just owned that game. But really, it was that late fourth quarter interception that really drove up the final score in that game, and not necessarily how it was played out overall. I promise you, if Dallas Cowboys decide to show up like they did in the first half against the Giants, the Minnesota Vikings are not the Giants defense, and they have a much better offense, and they would definitely be able to continue to run up the score, where Giants were just kind of enabled in that sort of, and kind of let that game get away and get ahead of them. In fact, the Giants definitely even had an opportunity to backdoor them in that spot. Also, I know where the public is seeing this game. They're saying that Kirk Cousins is a trash, terrible quarterback in these primetime games, and he never wins them, and that why would you ever take the Vikings? You have to side with the Cowboys in this game. But I look at it differently. I think that the Vikings have a better coach, and I do think that Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Plus, we're catching 3 points. And also, we take these primetime games so often that we always are consistently just trying to be on the other side of the public. We do that on Thursday night, Monday night, and Sunday night. And that overall has been really successful for us all year round. So again, we like the Minnesota Vikings tonight against the Cowboys, as we'll be taking them at plus 3. We'll also be taking on the money line at plus 155. As always, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Love interacting with you guys. And if you haven't already, please come join us in the Discord, as I will be leaving a link in the description below, as well as a link to our Twitter card, as the Discord is not really your thing. But either way, I'll be back here again tomorrow with another free pick, and I'll see you then.